Today we're talking about intelligent drones, and this is the first of a series of 5 webinars in partnership with leading organizations from all over the world. And now it's a pleasure to introduce this special session this afternoon. We have an exciting partnership happening between APARA and the world of drones and robotics. So please allow me to introduce 3 esteemed speakers joining me on our virtual stage. Let me start with Mr. Oliver Tien, Honorary Advisor of APARA. That's the Asia Pacific Assistive Robotics Association. Oliver is a seasoned speaker at numerous international conferences. He is a champion of leveraging technologies to augment human capability and potential. Oliver will be joined by Ms. Shanlin Lee, President of APARA and Managing Director of Shine Services in Singapore. Also on our virtual stage is Ms. Dr. Catherine Ball, Convener of Drones and Robotics and Associate Professor at the Australian National University.
Hello and good day from Australia. I'm coming to you here from Gubby Gubby Land in Moreton Bay, and I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on their area that I sit here and acknowledge their elders past, present and emerging. Thank you.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Catherine. And Sean?
Hello everyone, my name is Shanlin Lee, President of APARA, Asia Pacific Assistive Robotics Association. Well, we are supposed to announce an announcement, but let me just, bring it forward first. I'm here excited today to actually announce and endorse this partnership with World of Drones and Robotics Congress. Well, to continue, APARA is founded on the motivation to help users leverage digital technology to augment human capability and potential. But in particular, our team study aspects of the ethical and responsible use of AI and robotics applications. Our memberships comprise both users and suppliers of technology in the industry. And we partner with counterpart industry associations, collaborate on a common cause, as well as research institutes and universities on practical projects. APARA is a network of organizations and professionals in Singapore and the region who are passionate about technology augmenting the human workforce vis-a-vis workforce displacement. We comprise academicians, government, agencies, industry players, and end users, where we aim to reach out to a larger community. Firstly, to enhance the use of robotics, to enhance human potential. Secondly, to stay connected with a network of technology enablers. Lastly but not least, to assist users to enjoy the experience of the transformation journey. Well, it is no secret that the global population is expected to rise to 9.7 billion by 2050. To meet expected food demand, global agriculture output needs to increase by 70%. AI is helping that goal possible. It is also clear that change is coming as farms are seeing an 86% decrease in labor force just in the US alone, while the number of farms continue to rise. This is just one example where the use of AI and robotics can play a significant role in transforming the industry. While today's agriculture technologies and AI capabilities are evolving at a rapid rate, this evolution is just beginning. But factors such as climate change, an increased population, and food security concerns that have propelled the industry into seeking more innovative approaches to assure an improving crop yield. While AI is steadily emerging as an essential part of most industries' technological evolution, including self-driving vehicles and flying robots, drones, that are able to automatically survey and take respective actions. The use of AI technologies coupled with robotics is assisting these machines in interacting together so that they can begin to frame the future of fully automated systems. The purpose of all these high-tech developments is optimization from both economic and environmental standpoints. But with AI all bringing all components of the various sectors together, we can discuss how autonomous machines and drones are driving the future of our society. A future where precision robots and drones will work simultaneously to manage and enable a higher quality of living. Autonomous machines help to perform laborious and endless tasks, freeing up the human resource to perform higher value added services. But these robots use sensor technologies, including machine visions that can detect things like location and search objects to inform central control to facilitate processes. In addition, the development of flying robots, drones, gives way to the possibility that the task of scouting currently done by humans could be replaced and possibly enhanced and outcome accelerated. Researchers are already developing technologies to enable such drones to scout without human involvement. Well, APARA is fully cognizant of such developments on the global stage. This partnership with the World of Drones and Robotic Congress is a major step to our mission to help our members and the users of technology to understand the workings of technology without media hype, to be aware of global developments on the technology front without bias, and to enjoy the journey of transformation with reduced pain and frustration. Our partnership with World Drones and Robotics Congress will bring to you a one-day show on drones next year, which will dovetail AIBotics 2022. We're very happy to enter into this partnership, and we are extremely glad to have Dr. Catherine Ball to join us today in this announcement. A lovely lady from Brisbane, and my team tells me we probably also look like sisters. Thank you very much, and over to you, Kat.
Thank you so much, Miss Shan Linley. It's so wonderful always to spend time with you and to hear your thoughts, because we know that going forwards into the fifth industrial revolution, that robotics and autonomous and automated technologies are going to be a key way in which we're going to be able to feed the next billion or two people, in the way in which we're going to be able to fight climate change, and how we can actually change how we work and create more opportunities for people in terms of new employment. So I'm really excited about coming over to Singapore, hopefully when all the borders are open, and we will be there physically in August next year. And one of the reasons why is because I created World of Drones and Robotics Congress along with my business partners to be able to provide a place for business networking. And though we love to speak to each other, it's not quite the same as being across the same table as each other and actually talking about ideas. And so all drones are robots, not all robots are drones. But they sit inside the same ecosystem piece, which is an incredibly powerful opportunity, not only for our sovereign economies, but also for helping some of the most poor people on the planet, dealing with the next pandemic, dealing with food security, and dealing with defense in our region as well. So we are really excited to enter into a partnership with APARA, because it's a group that I have been following the work of for a very long time already. Here in Australia, we like to think that we are very good at creating businesses and startup ecosystems around new and emerging technologies. But we also recognise that we are part of a larger Asia-Pacific framework. And in order for us to really, I think, tip these technologies towards the good things that we know they can do, working in partnership together is just the best way to go forwards. So one of the key things about World of Drones and Robotics Congress this year is we were supposed to be in Brisbane today in the convention centre and yesterday, and we've had to delay that through to November. So we will make sure that we send through the information to everybody here today around how you can get involved. Even if you can't come to Brisbane, you can still get involved with the World of Drones and Robotics Congress. We are the largest drones and robotics business conference in the Southern Hemisphere. And it's taken us 5 years to really get that business aspect, government aspect, academia aspect. And we're now moving into all sorts of artificial intelligence related fields such as bionics. And so one of the things for me is Industry 4.0 was all about IoT. Industry 5.0 is all about the Internet of Bodies, how humans are actually going to be interacting with robotics and artificial intelligence technologies, and what that can mean for us in terms of better health outcomes, but what that can also mean in terms of some of the data that we're collecting and the ethics and the privacy that we need to consider when we look at these new technologies. So Australia is pushing the envelope. And we are welcoming any businesses that might want to come and start in Australia. We've got great airspace if you're a drone company that wants to fly. We have a number of trial and test sites across Australia that you can come sit with a university and trial your equipment and get involved. Yes, just really excited. To work in partnership and to collaborate is the way forward for industries that are small and growing like ours, to make sure that we can all be connected with the best across our business world, and make sure that when we create opportunities in drones, robotics and AI, that the people on the C-suite, the CEOs, the COOs, the CTOs, the CFOs, and their board directors actually understand the implications of these technologies and how we can accelerate these technologies from a niche startup and entrepreneurial and academic world into business as usual. And I think in the last 6 years, we can probably say that a lot of robotics, AI and drones have actually become business as usual for some of our largest businesses. So really great to be involved. Thank you so much for having me here today. And I really look forward to seeing you all personally in Singapore in August 2022. And hopefully you get to enjoy World of Drones and Robotics Congress hybrid style, unless you're in Queensland, in which case come along to the Brisbane Convention Centre on the 15th and 16th of November. And we should continue in partnership going forwards to make sure that the Asia Pacific region is known as the innovators of drones and robotics and AI. For good. Thanks so much.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Dr. Catherine Ball. And so you've heard from our two wonderful ladies. Welcome to the virtual stage, Oliver.
So once again, I'd like to just let everybody know that APARA and the World of Drones and Robotics have signed the Memorandum of Understanding to proceed into a partnership moving from next year. And we're very happy to have Ms. Shalin Lee and Dr. Catherine Ball to share with you their message and the plans that they have ahead of time. So let me now move on to my presentation session, where I would love to share with you what we want to put together. Yeah, I thought with that very brief message from both Dr. Catherine Ball and Ms. Shalin Lee, it is useful to kind of take a step back to see what's happening around the world. So this was the first slide I wanted to share with everyone to show you that we wanted to get into this arrangement, right? Let me move on to my presentation. The topic that I wanted to share with all of you is just to give a good glimpse around the world of drones using AI as a technology. You've seen two presentations, one from Dr. Abdulghani of RMIT, as well as Dr. Shen Lee of Malaysia. And they have shared with you how technology has advanced very far and very wide. My presentation will cover the following topic. I want to also give a brief intro into AI and the vast space of what AI can really do, and the convergence of AI into the different applications that we're seeing today around the world. Then I will zoom in with some of the applications of drone, particularly using AI, and some of the recent as well as local announcements on the use of drones in this part of the world. So what is AI? Now, over time, we are seeing AI become a lot more revolutionary, and more importantly, it is a very powerful technology that continues to shape the future. And drone technology is one that, with the combination of AI technology, will bring us closer to a lot more ability to support and augment human capability. Now, AI, of course, has got this whole set of very specific areas of research and interest, starting from classical AI, where we do a lot more rule-based systems, and moving closer now to machine learning and deep learning, where we get a lot excited around what technology can do for us. There's a lot of media communication where machine learning and deep learning is certainly helping us in a vast number of ways to support the solutions that can play a great part in giving us a higher quality of life. Now, AI has been applied in multiple sectors, right? And if you look at this chart itself, what we're seeing is that we're seeing appearance of AI in areas such as the healthcare, in finance, in insurance, in retail, transportation, marketing, and of course, in between all that, we see the use of drones, autonomous drones, which are a lot more intelligent. And we can see that there is definitely a lot of great use in that area. We're also seeing that a lot of investment is taking place. Together with 5G, we are certainly uh, investing a lot more in how this can create more jobs and allow the human workforce to be a lot more effective and efficient in what they do. Now, I love this chart that was produced right by Trex this year. We suggest that actually most of the technology are moving ahead and accelerating in terms of growth. And what we also see is that the drone technology is definitely moving very far ahead. That flying drone that you see on the screen right now is a real flying drone, and it can definitely demonstrate that it's fairly autonomous. And some of the teething issues have been discussed by Dr. Abdugani, but clearly there are tremendous applications that drone can move into different sectors. But the key message that we all need to understand, and this is a headline of a publication that I wanted to share with you, we suggest that robots, drones, and AI in combination is definitely going to create new waves. And the drone technology can unlock its full potential with data acquisition and the ability to do data analytics happening at the highest degree of automation, which allows us to actually maximize the full use of intelligence that the drones would have gathered and translated in terms of responding back. Now, in solving AI problems, what we are definitely seeing is that there is probably a plateauing of our ability to manage complex issues. Uh, the human capability certainly is limited by processing power, by speed, by vision, and so on and so forth. And with the ability for us to include this AI technology into what we do, we definitely can cover areas which are probably invisible to us. And we're seeing a lot of this law come true, this proposition come true in the application of AI in multiple sectors. And this is definitely so as well for AI and the use in the drone technology. The market for drones is ever increasing. Not so much on the hardware side, well, we can do more in terms of the functionality of AI, but of course, in the services area, how well can we actually leverage the use of the technology and the data is collected and its functionality to provide enhanced services like what Ms. Shanili has mentioned. Certainly, there are areas where we can generate higher quality of it. Drone technology actually encompasses two very important spaces. One is the ability of the technology and AI in this instance to generate greater business potential, greater technology potential. The other is the working and the flexibility of government regulations to actually allow the use of drone in the respective geographies. Some of the key trends that we look at, we need to reduce the cost of compliance to the different regulation. We need to really expand the use in the different business uh, use cases. Um, Also, to look at how we can reduce risk when AI plays a more active and more involved role in integrating with the drone technology. Of course, there's a huge opportunity for us to explore, not just on the software and sensor side, but also to look at how it can dovetail other aviation technology. Now, drone application can work in two different ways. Right? One is definitely heavily based on the station that retrieves the information and is able to process it accordingly. Some of this technology are embedded on the drone. Otherwise, the communication back to the base station allow us to have more communication and processing capability. In addition, we should be able to see that drones today are able to communicate directly to a cloud station. This means that we are able to actually send drones out to areas where it's beyond the line of sight. And this makes the whole aspects of applying drone a lot more attractive. And more importantly, we can explore new dimensions of how drones are applicable. Let me share with you a couple of examples, right? Clearly, when we start to put edge AI into drones, we are definitely able to see this in sectors for in the construction space, for traffic monitoring, as well as cartography. Um, Here are some examples where drones are effectively used. So here you see robots, right, in a greenhouse, managing the plants and providing the agricultural needs. And drones could provide surveillance to help humans get closer to the whole process and enable a high level of control, owing to the fact that we're seeing the micro view of how the robots are working. And of course, we are definitely able to get robots to do some tasks which uh, the humans probably can relieve themselves from the laborious activity. And what's more important, reports are suggesting that um, more jobs could be created as we move into that space. So it is definitely a clear case where, while jobs may be displaced by technology and automation and AI, we can expect more jobs to be created to support the new industry. Let me give you a couple of examples. I love this example. This is the Murala, a application in Boston, US. And what we are seeing is that this technology, this product is able to use deep learning neural networks to help keep drones shift from clouds to find and identify people of interest. The ability to scan, communicate, and do some analytics to identify and search for individuals. Now, this company claims that their AI-powered software needs only about 20 minutes to actually understand the image of the individual rather than the traditional technology, uh, which requires more than that, and sometimes it could be hours and days. This application is definitely being used today, particularly in the jungle, to identify um, potential possible approaches while miles away searching for our protected species. This is another example used in San Francisco. This company, Scale, uses AI and machine learning to help train the drones for area imagery. And this is very powerful because it can then capture information to identify objects in the neighborhood and take the necessary action accordingly. This is an application, SkyChat, which is used in the Bay Area, San Francisco, where these aerial images are now meshed and used for land survey. And here we have a Japanese construction company, Komatsu, which uses this technology to survey land and to use this 3D imaging and reconstruct the image for desktop users. Alitex is a company in San Jose, in the California area, that uses AI and machine learning abilities for greenhouse management, very similar to the example I shared earlier. OB is another application in the California area, Mountain View, where the drones help to support businesses by assisting with the mapping and design of large-scale warehouses and factories. So we're definitely seeing that with AI in drone, the area intelligence will be a lot more enhanced. And the application of this technology is growing, and there are more and more aspects of how this can benefit our work. This is another recent application that was announced just end of last year, where AI-based drones were used to enforce social distancing. So you can see that quite immediately it can be applied to immediate needs that supports what we want to achieve. Here are further examples. Particularly, these are two examples of drones being used in Singapore itself. Right, the picture on the left shows drones that are used to inspect the reservoirs in Singapore, reported in May this year, and the picture on the right shows how our Port of Singapore Authority is actually using drones to survey the port, and they use 5G as a booster. Some of these trials have been very successful in how they can be applied. Um, just last year, about a year back, Singapore announced our first commercial drone delivery from shore to ship in terms of being able to bring delivery closer to our ships in maintenance. However, having said all those and shared all those examples, we are definitely seeing different rules that needs to be considered, right, in terms of how drones can be applied. So these are some of the guidelines that Singapore applies, right, in terms of flying drones around in our geography. Uh, First of all, if the weight of the drone is less than 7 kilograms, yeah, so no permit is probably required. Similarly, if it does not fly uh, beyond 200 feet, uh, you could probably do this without a permit. However, if the drone object weighs more than 70 kilograms and required to fly above 60 meters, that is above 200 feet, then a permit is required. There'll be questions asked, what do you want to do it for? Secondly, drones cannot be flown over people, over crowd. This is for safety reasons. So there are definitely designated areas where we allow drones to be flown, and designated areas where drones cannot encroach into the district. We also specify that drones may not and should not interfere with emergency service providers. Well, we all know that drones use certain frequency, and this emphasizes the importance of the ability for us, or the need for us, to ensure that we provide a urgent pathway for emergency services that has been activated. Another guideline is that we would not allow drones to fly within 5 kilometers of the airport. Now, this is very critical because we do not want drones to interfere with aviation signals, and to ensure that we do not have any unexpected activities. Very important again, drones can only be flown during daylight hours. Enable the innovation and future developments of drone technology. This will definitely give us room for greater and more varied way of applying drone technology in the different space that we want to work on. While today's application on drones is limited to a number of sectors, I personally see that the drone technology will cross into different industries very quickly with the use of AI technology integrated into drones, and the higher degree of area intelligence. We certainly will encroach into new and more innovative way of applying drone technology, and with drone technology being made a lot more available, I definitely see the possibility where we will be soon using drone technology to enable us to have greater and more higher quality of living in our new society. So with that, I'm going to end my presentation here, and I'll pass it over to the host for comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing, Oliver. Once again, that was Mr. Oliver Tian, Honorary Advisor of APARA. And we've also just heard from Ms. Shanlin Lee, President of APARA, and Dr. Catherine Ball, the convener of the World of Drones and Robotics. And this is really a celebration of a wonderful partnership between APARA and the World of Drones. This is the first of a series of 5 webinars, and we are talking about intelligent drones. The next one will be next week, and our topic will be on AI accreditation and readiness, followed by the webinar on intelligent transformation on the 2nd of September. The week after, the 9th of September, we will be talking about quality engineering in AI and robotics. And we cap our series on the 16th of September with AI and the Future of Learning. And that is in partnership with Enterprise Ireland, Learnovate Institute, and Trinity College.
Yeah, I was saying that I'd like to add on to the conversation here. I think I want to certainly endorse the partnership between APARA and the World Drones Robotics. We have been discussing about this potential partnership for almost a year now. And I feel that bringing the show to Singapore and as an integral part of AIBotics is definitely a very positive move and will certainly benefit the audience of AIBotics as well as building a close network with the international alliance that the World of Drones and Robotics has created. In fact, for the audience to know, there is a highly networked group of organizers for the World of Drones and Robotics around the world. And this is just testimonial, just simply testimonial to the fact that the drone technology is just so important now that it cannot be just another technology in R&D. We heard this morning of this today where Dr. Abdul Ghani shared with us some of the breakthroughs and how they have considered the thresholds in technology that they have been able to achieve. And this is going to go a long way, right? The ability for us to mimic natural flying and apply that into drones, right? We also saw the application of drones in the agriculture space. We definitely will need it. Both Shannon and myself actually spent quite a bit of time looking into food safety and the increasing population. What that simply means is that we're going to need a lot of farm hands, and the farm hands need not necessarily be human hands, right? It could be robot technology, it could be drone technology, and that's going to help us achieve and produce the capacity of food needed for the world population. I guess after this session, it's going to be very exciting to look at two other applications around surveillance and the warehouse application. So certainly look forward to all those discussions. So once again, please remember next year, APARA will be working together with World Drones and Robotics in hosting this event, and the timing will be again in the month of June. You'll hear from us very soon.
Thank you, everybody. And I'd also like to thank Andrew Kay from Silicon Valley Robotics, who's the person that connected us with Oliver. So really grateful to see that's that whole Asia Pacific. It literally includes, North America. We forget about that sometimes, I think. So yes, just really great to be working together, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you all physically in Singapore next year.
And we look forward to welcoming you here, Dr. Catherine, and your team from the World of Drones and Robotics. And so that wraps up this session.